Kosala Dream, 16. I am presenting the 6 dreams of King Kosala, which are the dreams that King Kosala had when His Holiness was present, so that all religious friends and good friends can listen and meditate on them. When King Kosala told the queen about these dreams, at the queen's urging, King Kosala went to the Buddha to ask about the dream. The Buddha, thinking about the future with his wisdom, always comforted and preached about the benefits and sins that will happen in the future. Era 1. I dreamed that 4 oxen from 4 sides were coming and shouting that they would fight in your square. In the future, in the days of those of you who do not obey the law, the rain will fall from all directions like rain. And if it does not rain, it will disappear. Then, crops will be destroyed, and people will have shortage of food and water and hunger. 2. I dream of seeing the young and small plants blossoming, in the future, in the time of decline, in the time when people's lives are short, both men and women are strong and strong traders, marriage at a young age, and the birth will be done. 3. Dreaming of cows licking the milk of their young cows, in the future, when respect for elders disappears, parents, the mother-in-law, etc., is a merchant who has no religion, their children, sons, daughters-in-law, and daughters-in-law will stand close to them, and they will have to live in sorrow and sadness. 4. He did not move the big bulls that could carry the load of the carts, but only the small bulls. He dreamed that the young bulls were unable to carry the load, nor were they able to pull the carts. To those who are old and wise in your days who do not wait for the future, MP, he was not appointed to the rank and file of the judge. Cotton, they will only appoint young people who have finished their education. Then I don't know the chance, it is not correct, and the case when there is no benefit, the youth will give up their position and wealth. The adults will ignore us and say that it is only from the outside. Therefore, as soon as they do not follow the law, you and the country will decline and be destroyed. 5. A horse with 2 mouths dreams that it eats fed barley, etc., even with 2 mouths. In the days of you who do not follow the law, the judges who do not follow the law will eat the gifts given by the clients of both sides, and decide the cases incorrectly. 6. He gave a gold cup worth 100,000 to the fox to urinate. I dreamed that the fox was urinating in that golden cup. In the days of those of you who did not observe the law in the future, noble people were not honored, they are poor, and the poor will be rich and prosperous. Then the nobles will not be able to make a living, so they will give their daughters to the poor to make a living. 7. A young man was sitting on a wooden board, and he twisted it and placed it at his feet. I dreamed that the hungry female fox under the inn was eating it without the boy's knowledge. In the future, women will eat clothes, there is a slyness in their behavior, etc., and their husbands search for and accumulate the property, clothes and clothes. Whether in food or whether in drinking or playing, whether in pleasures, or if it is too much, it will be wasted. The housewives will spend and steal quietly like this, just as the dog does not know. 8. He saw a large pot full of water surrounded by pots without water. The people brought water from 8 directions and poured it into the pot full of water. The water that was poured overflowed and fell. In this way, I dreamed of seeing people pour water into pots full of water, but no one pours into the pots without water. In the days of your bad future, you and the people have failed, weak influence, they will come to poverty. Then your government to the poor. Work only for your interests. Carry out. To bear, therefore, only you will be fully benefited. 9. In a deep and wide lake, the animals went down and drank water. I dreamed that the water was deep in the middle of the lake, and the water was clear where the animals were treading in the shallow water around the lake. In the future, rulers who do not obey the law will rule unjustly. Eating wandering compassion and indifference, there is brutality and cruelty. Taxes will be levied on the people with a special and flat diameter. Then the people will not be able to pay anything. They will be tired and poor. They will not be able to stay in the big cities, and they will have to go to the remote areas. It will be quiet in the center of the city and in the middle of the village, just as it is quiet in the middle of the lake, and crowded in the outskirts of the country. 10. Rice cooked in a single pot, at the same time, is somewhat soft. Some meals, some of it is good. I dream like this: in the days of those of you who do not obey the law, it will rain between the clouds. Then there was too much rain in some places and crops failed, no rain in some places, the rain is good. In this way, like the rice seen in the rice cooker, the crops will be diverse. 11. I dreamed of seeing a sandalwood year worth more than 100,000 sold with rotten sap. In the future, when the religion of my God is on the wane, the monks who are greedy for bribes will be a lazy people, food, medicine, school, they wanted clothes, goods, etc., and they met on the road. House entrance, I will preach God's law from house to house, the very noble law that he preached for the sake of nirvana. Drunk, they are selling it for the benefit of 1 kilat, etc. It will be like selling the 1,000 year old sandaku year with rotten juice. 12. I dreamed that the jars were drowning in water. In the future, in the days of you who don't follow the law, only the lowly people will be given positions and wealth. And the lowly people will appear to have great power and influence in everything, and only their words will sink into the bottomless pit. 13. I dreamed that a large stone mat was floating in the water. In the future, in the days of you who do not observe the law, the words of those who are wise and wise will not sink in any matter, like a heavy stone mat floating in water. They will not be strong. 14. I dreamed that young frogs were devouring great cobras. In the future, people will have strong passions, and they will completely follow the will of their young wives. Employment, property, servitude, they will dominate the husband in all aspects of management, but it will be like a young frog swallowing a poisonous snake. 15. Dark appearance. I dreamed of seeing the ugly ravens surrounded by golden hens, like the appearance of gold. In the future, during your weekdays, those princes will not be clever in things like riding elephants and horses, and will not be brave in going to war. Then, fearing that the country will lose its kingdom, they will not give the government to the good people of the same caste, but will give it to the lowly servants who work hard in their presence. Therefore, the nobles will suffer in the presence of the inferiors who have no place to worship. 16. The goats were eating the trees, and the trees were afraid, and even if they saw the goats from a distance, they were running towards the bush. In the future, in the days of you who do not observe the law, the poor people will be government merchants and the people of the people will not be prominent. The poor people are familiar with you, and they have influence in the courts, and they seize all the land belonging to the ancestors of the nobles as our land. Then the nobles were frightened and gave away their farm goods and went back to their homes and slept. In addition, virtuous monks are oppressed by unscrupulous monks, and run away into the forest to hide. If this is the case, gentlemen, the good people will run away and hide in the mountains.